Life is too short. Live your life to the fullest. Take chances and don't let fear stop you. In this journey of life, know that you will fail, not once, but probably many times. But also know that your failures do not define who you are or what you can become. It is in fact a stepping stone to success. Your life is precious, and so are you.
We've all heard of the recent tragedy of the Indian student. We at Whispers of Serenity would like to extend our condolences to friends and family. If you're wondering who I am, my name is Tamsin Pereira, and I am a child and young adult psychologist at the clinic of Whispers of Serenity. We're collaborating with the Arabian Stories to not only reach out to students who may have experienced the loss of a dear one, but also to extend support to friends and family. Being an ex-student of an Indian school in Oman, I'd like to speak about a personal experience growing up here. I used to be terrified of having my parents come to school for a parent-teacher conference. Why? This was because of all the pressure that was put on me in school. I was terrified of the teachers only looking at my grades and not looking at what I'm creative in. What they could have done as a school is push me to pursue my personal goals and things that I'm actually good at. But no, instead, the education system focuses so much on grades and numbers on a sheet of paper. Personally, I've lost a few friends to suicide back in school and college. I wish I had seen the warning signs, but this is something that a lot of people say after it's a bit too late. I'm here speaking to you right now so that we can talk about warning signs. Let's talk about warning signs. There are two main types of warning signs, verbal and non-verbal. Verbally, people can reach out to other people by saying things like, "I can't do this anymore," "Life is hard," "What's the point of living?" Nonverbal signs are a lot harder to pick up on. These are very similar to symptoms of depression, where people tend to be isolated, they don't care about their appearance anymore, they could be substance abusers, they could sleep either too much or not at all. These are signs that we really need to keep an eye out for. Let's talk about what we can do to improve the situation so this doesn't happen again, and so that this issue is not brushed under the carpet again. Let's start with the education system. The education system puts so much pressure on students to not learn through passion, but to learn just solely to get good grades and to compete with other students. Competition is good at a healthy level, but when it comes to losing a life over grades, that's not healthy. Secondly, let's talk about teachers and counselors. The ratio of teachers to students is not proportionate. Very rarely do we have a teacher that is able to give each student individual attention, especially if it's a large classroom. And this is where counselors need to come in. We need to break down the walls of stigma surrounding therapy. Students should be encouraged to speak up, to go visit a counselor. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have something wrong in your life to go speak to a counselor. A student can do this on a daily basis or weekly basis just to check in on their mental health. Thirdly, let's talk about family and societal pressure. After an incident occurs, a lot of people tend to point fingers at the parents. But it's not just the parents alone. Societal pressure has a lot to do with this as well. We see families on a day-to-day basis meeting other families, and then the first thing they ask is how much a student got in their last examination. This needs to stop. Instead of asking a student what grade they've achieved, ask them how their life is. Ask them how school is or how their personal life is. Don't only focus on just examination grades. This unintentionally sometimes puts a lot of pressure on the child. That, in return, puts a lot of pressure on the parent to always put their child on a pedestal and make them the best of the lot. When I was in school, societal pressure and school pressure were the two main issues. In this generation, added on to societal pressure and school pressure, we also have social media pressure, relationship pressure, into school competition. All of this needs to change. If you're someone who's facing a mental health issue or just need someone to talk to or vent to, we at Whispers of Serenity are here for you. We are also planning on having future workshops at different schools and colleges and universities. So if you have an idea for a workshop, reach out to us and we'll be there for you. I'd like to conclude with some advice. Schools and families need to focus on a student's strengths. Every student is unique. Focus on their strengths and not their failures. And when they do fail, accept it, or teach them to learn to accept it. Accepting a failure, in turn, leads to building resilience.